and today we'll be talking about leverage. And leveraging is dear to my heart only because I use a lot of tech to leverage a lot of things in my businesses. And one thing that I was talking to someone earlier last week about was leverage and how it applies to hustle. And I was thinking, I know that passion is the heart of the hustle, because we're all hustling, we're all working hard. But leverage is like the brains of the hustle. That allows you to scale and to grow and to use other things to be able to really create a business out of your business. And regardless if you're a single agent, a team, a brokerage, or just running a business, anywhere in between, you need leverage. And you need leverage to be able to scale, to grow, and just to make your life a lot easier. A lot of the times we forget that leverage is there so that we can treat our business like an actual business. Because think about this, the moment something goes bad, what happens to you and your business? You can't be the sole reason your business survives. I want to talk to you about growth, specifically through leverage. All right, now when I think of leverage, I think of three things. Processes and systems, that's one. Technology is two. And number three is talented people. Let's start with processes and systems, only because that's my strength. Now, these take time to build. And I remember hiring my first admin. And my first admin was when I was with Century 21, and that didn't last very long. But when I switched over to Keller Williams, I started understanding how to hire using the right tech, using the right people, using the right strengths, and using the right processes. But I had an idea of when I hired this admin, they would create the processes and systems, and I wouldn't have to worry about anything. And I told her, I said, hey, grab that red book, the $1 Million Real Estate Agent book, and start creating systems from it. Just create them. And she looked at me like, what do you mean systems and processes? And so that whole thing didn't work. But what I realized later was that all businesses run a little bit differently. And as a leader of your business, you have your own way of running your business. And that's where you start. That's where you start and say, got it. I understand the processes that I have. What happens when I get an offer? What happens next? And how do I want this to end? That's how you start systems and processes. Now, I'll give you an example. When I started growing in online leads, specifically Realtor.com at the time, back in 2011, late 2010, I started purchasing a lot of Realtor.com leads at the time. And I had some processes and systems built in from doing Google AdWords from the previous years and Craigslist. And we were getting thousands of leads a month. When I added Realtor.com leads, it changed the process though. I had to add new tech. I had to look for other sources to be able to say, okay, well, what tech can I use here to put in place so that it has an autoresponder? Who can I get to make sure that everybody is called on time? What happens if they don't respond or if I can't get a hold of them? And what happens if they do talk to me and they want to purchase 6 months from now? So the more I got into this field that was my strength, the better I was at creating the processes and systems that I had to write down and create. Then I applied them to the team, I applied them to the business, and now we have this whole system and process that runs in place. But that's my strength, and that leads me into the next one, which is talented people. It takes money and time to hire the right people for your business, but you need them. Single agents and teams and brokerages, you need bookkeepers, you need admins, TCs, showing assistants in some cases, and marketing assistants in others. Teams, you need a lot. You need not just this, you need other agents. And so do brokerages. Here's the thing. you want to hire people that want to work with you and that have the right mindset and are easy to work with, so that the systems and processes you have in place that you're teaching them, they come in and say, got it, I understand. Now, when you look to hire people into your organization, you look for three things. Specifically, this is what I look for. Number one is character. You can't really teach character after a certain age. You can kind of tell them what it is, but I look for character. I look for somebody who has a set of principles that align with my set of principles. The last thing I want is to have challenges besides the business challenges. Challenges that have to do with moral character and challenges that have to do with somebody doing things that we just don't do. That's why I look for character first. Number two, emotional intelligence. This is very key. And some of you may not understand that emotional intelligence is as important as I'm telling you here, because some of you lack emotional intelligence. But I'm telling you, look for emotional intelligence. And when I say emotional intelligence, I think of a quote by Henry Ford. He says, if there's any one secret of success, it lies in the ability to get the other person's point of view and see things from that person's angle as well as from your own. You see, emotional intelligence goes deep into understanding the other person and putting yourself in the other person's shoes. So empathy. That's what emotional intelligence is at its core. And you look for that. And number three, you look for a growth mindset. If you read Mindset, the book by Carol Dweck, which I keep on bringing up only because it's an important book to our culture, she talks about fixed mindset versus growth mindset. And the one thing you can get from that, the growth mindset, is a fixed mindset looks at the competition and says, wow, why not me? Versus a growth mindset saying, that's amazing. That inspires me to do better. What do I need to do to get there? That's what you look at when you hire talented people, whether they're working for you directly or indirectly, like a bookkeeper, financial advisor. Those are more partnerships, but you look for those things too. Thirdly, technology. I left this one until the end because tech is there to support your systems and processes and the people that work with you. The tech, it'll simplify your processes and it'll enhance what you already do really well. So I need you to look for technology in two ways. Number one, those things that you're terrible at. And for example, I'm not the greatest, and I've never been the greatest at following up with my sphere. So what I did is I looked for technology to put in place to help me with that, whether it was drips, automation through text and email, voicemail drops, newsletters, retargeting on social, or finding the right people that are great for that, right? So technology, use it for what you're not the greatest at, and have those talented people work it so they can work it and create the systems and processes that you're lacking. Number two, those things that you're amazing at. The same applies to this, but it's easier. When it comes to me and what we're good at as a team, it's online leads. So we have the processes in place that we're always adding or taking away, which make the process better. So look to those things that you already do absolutely amazing. Let's say it's past clients, and see what you can add to it that's out there in technology. Often we look for technology and we're like, ooh, that's awesome. Ooh, that's awesome. I want that. But I want you to take a step back and say, well, how does this apply to my strength? And how does this apply to my weakness? And all of a sudden you're looking at this as a business. And when it comes to leveraging your business, you can't ever rest, because you keep looking to get leaner and better, and you'll always be picking up better systems and processes from other people that are doing better than you or things differently than you. But the more you leverage, the more you can grow and allow yourself to be running a business instead of letting the business run you. So I want you to remember this. Always keep your leverage accountable. This way you make sure it's performing at its best. I think that's one thing we forget to do. We put things in place and we assume it's going to last through forever. And the one thing I can give you an example of, and I'll leave you with this, is when COVID-19 hit, there are a lot of businesses that left their automation in place and kept on running through months and months in. And some of that messaging, whether it was texting, email, voice message, was wrong because we were in a different world all of a sudden. And they didn't take the time to switch that. So when it comes to technology, when it comes to talented people, when it comes to your processes and systems, remember, you always have to be changing them. And you always have to be looking to what's next and how can I get better. Thanks for joining me again, and please subscribe to my channel. If you ever have any questions, just drop a comment there. I do read the comments, and I'll do my best to respond quickly. Have an amazing day.